What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty behind the camera, and standing in front of us is this absolutely gorgeous urban green in color 2023 Maserati Levante in the Modena trim. So this is an absolutely gorgeous sort of limited series to the Levante that adds a bunch of different features, mainly blacked out accents on the exterior, really neat sort of custom exterior color, and a sort of custom interior stitching as well. So really neat package on this vehicle. Now throughout this video we're going to be taking a look at all of the exterior features. We'll then pop the hood, discuss the powertrain. We'll then get into the trunk, see what kind of cargo room we're working with, and finally we'll work our way into the interior, starting on the rear seat and making our way forwards to the front seats. Now, if you're interested in seeing a driving video of the Levante Modena, I did film a very beautiful Modena last year that was actually an F Tributo version of that. So definitely check my channel if you want to see a test drive on the Levante. But let's get straight into it here with the headlamp. So very beautiful sort of thin headlight unit for up front. Of course, LED bulbs for both the high and low beams, and then also LED bulbs for the daytime running lights and turn signals. And if we take a look in the circular down below, that is our fog lights. So it looks all very nice illuminated. You could see parking sensors wrap around the front bumper, and we also have the front camera. We have 4 cameras around this vehicle for the 360 degrees view camera system, and you can really see a lot of the dark black accents on the side, and you can also see the intercoolers for that twin turbocharged V6 motor. And then also towards the bottom we have the gloss black lip, and our main grille with the active shutters inside is all gloss black as well, and just a little touch of chrome right below the hood lip. And we also have the secondary Maserati logo right on the hood. Speaking of the hood, it is nice and long. It kind of slopes down into the grille, and we have these beautiful 21-inch black painted wheels on this particular vehicle. And we also have a staggered setup, meaning that the front tires and wheels are a little bit smaller than the rear. So we're measuring up at 265/40 up front for the tire size. Take a look at how big those brake calipers are. I believe they're 6-piston calipers, and you also have drilled rotors. Very beautiful side accent on the front fenders. We have the typical 3 air vents and the model designation on the side. More gloss black when we're taking a look around the windows and the mirror caps. You can also see we are free of roof rails and roof racks and all that good stuff that normal SUV has, to kind of free up a nice streamlined appearance. Up here we have the panoramic sunroof and the shark fin antenna. And if we circle around, you can see we have the LED turn signal indicators on the mirrors and the blind spot warning. Smart key on all 4 of the door handles, so you just tap the button to lock, put your hand behind the handle to unlock. And again, that is on all 4 door handles. And in case you're wondering what the sticker price on this particular vehicle is, we're working with right about $119,000. So pretty exclusive car for that money. We also have a nice blacked out Maserati emblem and your fuel door on the driver's side. Now taking a look back here, our rear tires measure 295/35, so quite a bit bigger in the back, a little bit wider of a stance back here. Very nice spoiler out back too, with even some cutouts, as you see, and some black extensions to the side. LED tail lamps for the rear, so again, nice, all illuminated. Also has kind of like a smoked out appearance too, pretty neat. But yeah, LED turn signals, brake lights, tail lights, all of that good stuff is LED powered. Taking a look back here, we have some subtle chrome accents right above the lip to the trunk, and the Maserati name spelled out is in chrome too. Taking a look underneath, we have the trunk release and the reversing camera. Of course, parking sensors back here as well, and take a look at those blacked out exhaust surrounds back here with a nice gloss black lower bumper. So we are just almost into April of this year, and I'm going to say it already, this is definitely color of the year for cars that I have reviewed. This is quite the vehicle. What do you guys think of the color on this vehicle and just the styling in general? Let me know in the comments. Now, under the hood of the Modena trim level of the Levante is a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6, and it's good for 424 horsepower, 428 pound-feet of torque. All trim levels of the Levante will come standard with all-wheel drive and hooked up to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. Now, it's pretty cool the way Maserati sets up their engines, and that each trim level has a sort of different engine with a different horsepower and torque output. So basically, there are 2 V6s, pretty much the same engine, just with 2 different power outputs, and also 2 twin turbocharged V8s. Again, it's pretty much the same engine, just 2 different power outputs. But really nice that you could see actually the valve covers up top and a pretty small engine cover. So, popping the full power trunk lid reveals a pretty good amount of space in the Levante. It also reveals in this particular car lots and lots of accessories such as an umbrella, roadside safety kit, all kinds of good stuff that comes with this particular Levante. Now, under here we do have some lighting to either side, also some grocery bag hooks, and a 2-piece cargo shade which is removable. As you see, the rear seats fold down in a 60-40 fashion, but you can see there is a little cut through through the armrest. Over here we have some storage extensions with a little elastic belt to keep things in. Also a 12-volt power outlet. You also have tie downs in each corner of the trunk lid. And if you lift up the cargo floor, you can see there is a bit of storage underneath, kind of a divider, and underneath that divider is the spare wheel. You also have lighting up top to either side and handles to either side in case you didn't want to use the power trunk lid, but the buttons for that are located down here. So we have 2 options, one to close the trunk and lock it, and one to simply just close the trunk. Okay, so now that we are into the interior, we'll start off on the rear. 2 things I want you to pay attention to with the rear glass. It is completely frameless for the front and rear windows, and also take a look at how heavily tinted the rear is. So definitely not going to be any prying eyes looking into the interior, at least on the back of the Levante. Beautiful natural drilled leather interior with gray accented stitching. Stitching is absolutely everywhere on this vehicle. And also pay note to the beautiful piano black trim that's on this vehicle too. Lots of bright work surrounding into the handles to get out of the vehicle. And we also have the mid-level Harman Kardon audio system on this particular vehicle. We have lock and unlock controls on the rear door, as well as the window controls and the little Maserati inscripted on the back. The rear seats, of course, have gorgeous attention to detail with more of that gray stitching with the trident on the headrests. You can fold down the armrests like so, and that will have a couple of cup holders. And then you can also see that little pass-through. And this handle on the end of the seat you can use to fold these seats down flat for a sort of maximum cargo mode, or you can also use that handle to recline the rear seat. Beautiful suede headliner, and you can also see how large the panoramic roof is as well. And there's also lighting on the side with the grab handles. So the front seats are adjusted a little bit further back than a normal driving position for myself, and I am 5'10". So frame of reference, even with them scooted back a little bit, I still have a few inches of legroom, so no problems there. Back here we also have a 12-volt power outlet and 2 USB chargers. A couple of air vents, 2 back here, which is pretty nice. Guys, I truthfully cannot get over this exterior color. It is just crazy. But anyways, onto the front seat. Now, leather is covering pretty much every portion of this door. So we have this upper here, which is all leather, and then also the leather armrest down here with all of the contrast stitching. Again, more of that black gloss trim up front and the nice metallic accents pretty much surrounding everything. So the door handle, the 2-person memory controls for the driver, and all of your speaker grills too. A little bit of storage down below as well, and even the lower panels are covered in a nice soft to the touch material. Up here we have all of our mirror controls, which are power folding, all of our window adjustments and the rear window lockout, and the lock and unlock for the door locks. On the left of the dash we have a pretty cool air vent, again surrounded in bright work. Down here we have the start stop button on the left of the dash in traditional Maserati fashion. We also have all of our headlight and fog light buttons. Down here we have some beautiful metallic pedals with the raised rubber grips. And the standard carpets in the vehicle are very nice quality. Speaking of very nice quality, we have these absolutely gorgeous seats, and of course this is the limited series. That of course is limited series in Italian, but I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. I believe it's Serie Limitata, but I'm sure a bunch of you are going to correct me in the comments. But absolutely gorgeous grade of leather. We have the same color stitching on the inside, almost kind of mimics a racing stripe look, and then the gray stitching on the outside of the seat. Those seats are also fully powered with 4-way lumbar, so I just wanted to point that out as well. So here is the key for the Maserati. It's got a fair bit of heft to it, so you definitely know it's built with some quality in there. We have the Maserati Trident logo on the face of the key. We also have a physical key on the inside. You just tap this little button and it'll slide right out from the bottom. As far as buttons go, we have the lock, unlock, trunk release, and the remote start. So again, beautiful key. And we of course have the push button start off to the left. We have that beautiful sound coming from that twin turbo V6 too when you start it right up. But very nice attention to detail on the steering wheel. We have these perforations kind of on the sides and the smooth leather up top and down bottom. Some very nice bright work too coming towards the bottom and all around our buttons. So of course we have the adaptive cruise control. All the buttons for that are routed over here. We also can configure and turn on and off the lane keeping assist with this top button, and also activate a hill descent mode. Over here are all of your sort of Bluetooth and voice command buttons. So the Bluetooth telephone button right over here and voice commands. And then we also have this arrow and the up, down, and in for the digital part of the gauges. On the back of the steering wheel, we have some very nice and large paddle shifters. So they sound very nice once you click them into gear. And then we also have this stalk right here for your front and rear wipers, as well as your high beams and the turn signals. Now behind the steering wheel, kind of where my hand is right back here, is where your audio adjustments are. So you have an upper paddle and a down that will kind of cycle between radio stations, and on the other side we have the audio volume. So that's pretty cool. We have some hidden controls, but it kind of frees up the clutter on the face of the steering wheel so that we don't have too many buttons to distract us. Now, as far as the gauges go, I'm kind of happy that they aren't all digital. The sort of analog gauges really give it a more classy feel than any set of digital gauges will, in my opinion. So we have the speedometer and tachometer, very large, off to either side, and then over here we have the fuel gauge and the coolant temperature over here. Now we again have all those buttons to adjust the screen, so we kind of have a digital speedometer up at the moment, but we can scroll down into a vehicle information screen, which will kind of detail what is going on with the all-wheel drive. We can then go back and forth to see different maintenance schedules, battery voltage, various different gauges, and your tire pressures. We scroll down again, we have a driver's assistance screen, which will kind of detail your lane keep assist and others. We have a couple of trip screens here, sort of a real-time MPG and average, as well as a range for your fuel, and then also your trip A and B. Going down is a start-stop information screen. We have any messages or reminders, and then we can also configure some settings in there as well. So pretty simple yet elegant set of gauges for the Levante. Up top, again, full leather dash with that beautiful gray contrast stitching. We have a nice center speaker up here with the analog clock, looking very beautiful. And that brings me down to the infotainment screen. So some of you may be seeing a sort of visual element going on here with a sort of like lines in the screens or something like that. Trust me, it's not in real life. It just has to do with a camera reaction. But very beautiful screen here. Very, very clear graphics. And we have a pretty cool home screen that shows us the navigation and also what your radio is doing all at once. You can also swipe from the top to get various different shortcuts and things of that nature. And you can also quickly access your heated seats right up here, as well as your heated steering wheel and your cooled seats. So pretty cool there. Right over here you have your media screen, so this will kind of change between your AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, all your different inputs and things like that. What's playing is right in the center. You can also switch your channels right over here and set up your presets at the bottom. We can see the different sources over here, also browse and your audio settings right here. Here we have our comfort screen, so pretty much a duplicate of the climate controls that are right below the screen in case you wanted to use the touchscreen to adjust the climate. So if we turn it on, you can see everything will light up very nicely. You have your temperatures to either side, where you want the air to blow for either side, and also your AC and defroster settings right in the middle. They also give you an adjustment for the heated seats and heated steering wheel as well in this, as well as the ventilated seats in this menu too. We can switch on over to the navigation where we have a very nice map, very responsive to your touch. You can plus and minus the view and then also input your destination right there. Very easy. We have a phone screen as well as our vehicle screen as well, which is pretty cool. We can turn the screen right off. We can also shut off the auto start stop and also bring up your surround view camera. So let's press and see what that looks like. We have a kind of top down right over here with your guidance lines and also some guidance lines for the rear view camera too. We can kind of expand that to a wide angle rear view, a wide angle front, and a just sort of normal front view. With the top down is definitely very useful so you don't curb those very expensive 21-inch black painted wheels. Now this is a really cool feature too. You can kind of electronically lock your glove box and kind of set up a pin so that no people can get into it that you don't want in there. Over here we kind of have a jumbulation of all of your apps. We can kind of scroll down and also get into your vehicle settings. So lots and lots to go through. You can kind of pause the video and see what the settings are. also customize your own different profile for the vehicle, which is awesome. Lots and lots of different features you can turn on and off. This is all your safety warnings that you can turn on and off, so lots of safety features on this vehicle. Your clock and date settings, phone and Bluetooth, your voice and navigation, and all of your different camera settings. As you can see, just a myriad of settings that you can go through within this vehicle. Seats and comfort, all of your door locks, key, suspension settings, all kinds of good stuff. Notifications, Sirius XM setup, all kinds of good stuff, and then just a factory reset if you'd like. So yeah, definitely a very intuitive screen, very beautiful graphics too, very, very customizable to your specific needs. Down here we have the dual zone climate control for up front, so on either side we have the temperatures, and in the center the fan speed. And you can also just kind of tap 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 right here to get the air where you want it. Also an automatic zone, but it's independent for both the front driver and passenger. Then you also have your defrosters right over here. We have a little storage tray in here that kind of slides back very elegantly. And here it's all felt lined, illuminated, and you also have an SD card inlet, a USB, and an auxiliary inlet as well. So that is pretty cool. Let's take a look back at our gear selector, which of course is electronic. And it looks like the sun is finally coming out to say hello to us. We can go straight back into drive like so, and also put it over into manual mode. You can then shift like so down here, or with the paddle shifters of course. And then if you go straight up, that will bring you into reverse. Of course, all of your parking assist will activate, and the parking cameras. And we also have the P up top for park. We have a small array of buttons right over here to turn on and off your traction control. They also give you an off-road mode and then an ICE mode, which actually stands for increased control and efficiency. We also have a sport mode and a button to turn on the active dampers. So we do of course have the adjustable ride height adjustable active air suspension, which is pretty awesome, and that will kind of firm up the dampers to give you more of a sporty ride. Down here we kind of have a double knob controller for the screen up top. So we have this upper dial here which adjusts your audio volume, and the lower one which adjusts the screen. As you can see, it's going back and forth to change your different radio stations at the moment. We also do have an enter button and mute for the radio. Down here we have the hazards and also the electronic parking brake. So both functionalities to activate and deactivate, you just pick up on the button. So normally, you know, in other cars you press down to deactivate. This one you pick up to activate and deactivate. And our last control over here is the ride height select. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ride heights to select with this little knob right here, which is pretty awesome. Very elegantly opening cup holders lid, and we also have a cigarette lighter. Look at that. So that is pretty cool to have in your Levante. We have kind of a split opening center console, and once you take a look in there, we have 2 extra cup holders because we have the ability to get the climate control filtered into here with this little knob. So we have the on-off switch, and if you have the AC on, you can keep a couple of water bottles in there chilled, and then you also have a 12-volt power outlet in there as well. Taking a look on the passenger side, they have some nice accenting and a pretty cool stitching design going up and over into the passenger side A-pillar. Of course, you can see that beautiful suede on the headliner. We have some very nicely stitched card holders on the sun visors, and of course the mirror and light. Take a look up at the center stack. We have quite a few buttons up here. First of all, we have the button to release the trunk. We also have the sunshade buttons, which we could put that back. Also the sunroof controls, so this will slide the sunroof. This will kind of tilt the glass. and it'll kind of stop at the front portion, and to where there you could press the button once again for the shade to open it up fully. We also have the garage door openers right over here, and back here we have the parking sensors, so you could turn those on and off. In case you're towing a small trailer, you don't want them beeping constantly, you can just turn the parking sensors on and off there. We also have SOS and emergency buttons over here, as well as your interior lighting. So kind of all soft LED lights on the inside of this vehicle. Of course, we have the auto dimming rear view mirror and a pretty good view out the back at that. And we can also turn the auto dimming off if you'd like. But that pretty much does it for the Maserati Levante. You know, you loyal viewers will expect a test drive right now, but as I said earlier, be sure to check out my channel for the beautiful blue Levante that I did a video on last year for my driving impressions. But that pretty much does it for this beautiful Levante. Again, let's take a look at that green color one more time. Absolutely unbelievable color on the exterior of this car. But to thank each and every one of you watching, I thank you very much, and we'll see you next time for more videos just like this in the future.